Hey guys, MCU Collector here with another figure review, but this one's going to be more of a comparison because others have already reviewed the Operation Monster Force KILOWORG, but I'm going to do more of a comparison because I have two here. And so for those that are aware or not aware, there are two releases of the KILOWORG. So we have a number 10 here, which is the KILOWORG Night Hunter, and then we have a number 11, the Primal KILOWORG, which is the same figure without all the deluxe accessories. So you get a lower price point and you don't have kind of the same thing. So maybe this one's like your army builder of the KILOWORG, and then this guy's a specific one kind of thing if that's what you want to do. But I'm really excited to talk about these ones as I just got, a couple of days ago we had the Geeking Out toy show in La Mirada in Southern California, which kicked off the Fresh Monkey Fiction convention exclusive figure tour. There's going to be a few stops along throughout the year. So the first one was the Geeking Out show. Next one is going to be Toylanta. I think the next one of them is going to be Joe Fest. And then Legion's Con will be the next one. So the Phantom Core Command Unit figure is like the exclusive. So if you attend one of these convention/toy shows, you're able to get in and order through Big Bad Toy Store for this exclusive figure. And then if you're able to do that, I have this pin right here for the Phantom Command Unit. I was able to get this pin, so that is pretty cool there. So a little enamel pin to kind of commemorate and celebrate going to the toy show and being able to get the order in. A crazy amount of accessories on that guy as well, so it's pretty insane. So for those of you guys that are not aware, Fresh Monkey Fiction, right? They've been around for years. Make a bunch of different action figures. For the Operation Monster Force, Fresh Monkey Fiction has come together with Big Bad Toy Store, their Big Bad Workshop. So they're kind of in the manufacturing business of action figures now, so Big Bad Workshop. With the KILOWORG specifically, they then partnered with Maestro Union, which did a werewolf figure. I don't have that one, so I can't do a comparison there, but I think, Unparalleled Universe Wade had gone through some of that stuff. So Fresh Monkey Fiction and Big Bad Workshop, and then partnering with Maestro Union to bring the KILOWORG into the line. So all kinds of crazy good stuff. Both of these figures are in stock right now at Big Bad Toy Store. I have links in the video description below if you're looking to pick them up. So pretty cool. I haven't seen one out of the package up until the other day at Geeking Out. But very excited to talk about the two of these for you guys and hopefully give you guys the comparison, because I don't know if anybody has seen a comparison yet or really sure of kind of how that goes along. Months ago, if you had seen, I had reviewed the Season 1 of Operation Monster Force. The Delta Red Urban Trooper is my absolute favorite of the line, and then was in my top 10 for 2024. And then here we have Dracula. So we'll see how they compare to KILOWORG, and they're going to look tiny compared to these guys. So let's go ahead and get into it. These are the bad guys, by the way. KILOWORGs are bad. So looking at the package, very similar, obviously. But, obviously the deluxe release, you can see them in like the full Night Hunter gear, whereas this one, it is just the werewolf. But you can see that, the Forgotten King got Dr. Rand to create these werewolf guys that can just transform on command and go up against the Dracula Delta Red army. So there we go. So let's go ahead and get these figures out of the package, and let's go over and do the comparisons and see what each one is all about. Okay, so the Night Hunter KILOWORG actually comes with this cool poster. You can see it says Operation Monster Force up in the corner, and then Big Bad Toy Store. You can see the Forgotten King has returned. You got Maestro Union down in the corner, and you get some looks at the figure. So that's pretty cool. That's included in there. And then each KILOWORG has this little card in here, and I think this is from Maestro Union specific, but it gives a little bit of a warning, to be careful with them. I know I have seen some people have some breakage issues at the hips of the Night Hunter one and the pants, but it says toys are relatively tight when they leave the factory, especially at the joints. Avoid violent mechanical rotation as it may cause joint breakage. When you need to disassemble or replace accessories, especially in cold weather and low temperatures, you should first use hairdryer to blow them soft before operation to avoid damaging the toy. So be careful. I'm reading through this as I'm waiting for my figures. I have them in a hot water bath right now to kind of, make sure that there's no stiffness or anything like that. So, just be careful and make sure you heat them up. Okay, so we have the two KILOWORGs out of the package, and there's oh geez, there's a lot. Typical Fresh Monkey Fiction fashion. Typical Fresh Monkey Fiction fashion. There's a little bit of a tongue twister. Loaded with accessories. The Primal one, not so much, because he's just kind of your basic werewolf. So the accessories for the Primal KILOWORG or just the werewolf itself. The Night Hunter gets a bunch of stuff. So it's kind of crazy. So the Primal gets 3 different head sculpts. We get a screaming like howling, I guess it would be. We get the standard one, and then we get one here. He's got like a cigarette type of deal in his mouth going on there. We get a bunch of extra hands as well. 3 extra sets of hands. So we get like grip hands out of the package. You get these wide open hands here, and then you also get these other set of hands that aren't quite as wide open, but they also have them. And then another set of like grip slash trigger finger hands on the KILOWORG. Those head sculpts, those hands, you'll also get those in the deluxe version. The big difference with the deluxe version is you get this big old minigun here. He's got the dog tags around his neck. You get the jacket that he's wearing. You get the pants, hip pieces that he's wearing. You get some ammunition chains, belts. What are these called? Just ammunition here. As you can see, so there's 1, 2, 3 of them in here for the minigun, which I did not realize I did not actually plug in before I took pictures. He's wearing that jacket. You also get this vest here that you could wear, and then you get these grenades, shells, or are they grenades? They look like gigantic shotgun shells, so I don't know exactly what that would be. These can go onto the belt, so I'll put those on when we take a closer look at the Night Hunter KILOWORG. You also get this attachment, this gauntlet attachment piece here, which like has these 2 blades on there, which is pretty crazy looking there. All those hands that we had talked about, all the heads and stuff we talked about, all has that. You get this big old fur piece, and the reason why this is not on the Night Hunter version is because the jacket would cover this up. So if you remove the jacket, that's when you have it. So you see all the big fur around, like the mane. Would it be a mane? Do wolves have manes? But that's what that is there. And then you also get these shoulder pieces here, which will help fill in the gap when you don't have the jacket on. So, you would swap those arm pieces. So when swapping the arm pieces, here we have those upper arms. So you could, swap it out at the elbows, and then you can have the arms in there, and it would look exactly like this KILOWORG here. And then we got the hip and upper leg piece there, so that, you would pull it apart at the knees, and then you could swap them around. So basically, what you see on the Primal KILOWORG, you can get with the deluxe version. So then it's up to you on if you want to display him as the Night Hunter or the Primal version. So again, the Primal is the same as the Night Hunter, just a lot less accessories for a cheaper price. So that's really the big difference. Now, if you're a completist and you need to have all the different ones, they are numbered differently. The KILOWORG Night Hunter is number 10. The Primal KILOWORG is number 11. So again, just kind of what you want to do. If you're just looking for a standard werewolf figure, the Primal one is going to be the one to go with. But if you want something that's going to fit in really well with the Monster Force line and everything like that, the Night Hunter version is kind of what you want. Primal, that can fit in with any other action figure line that you kind of want to do there. So that's what's going on there. So let's go ahead and zoom in and get a closer look at the KILOWORGs. Okay, so we're going to focus on the Primal KILOWORG first. I swapped out the one head sculpt already, so I have kind of the growling head sculpt in there. Teeth look good. The inside of the mouth looks really good. It's like a deep red in there. Just looks really good, and it's kind of crazy. I will say it was a super major pain to swap out the head. So this is the head that was on there, and that looks pretty good. It's got like a scar over his right eye, which is cool. The other KILOWORG, same thing, because again, they're essentially the same exact figure. It was a pain. Like if you look at my finger here, if it focuses in right there, like I cut myself open because it's a major pain. Like I want to be completely open and honest with this. It is very difficult to swap out these heads because there's multiple pieces and things going on in here, and to grip everything like this fur. It's a big gigantic rubber piece, but like some of these ends of the fur, they get a little pokey. Like I'm gripping this, right? Like if I kind of grip around there, you can see all the indents and little pokes in my hand and everything like that. So it was a bit crazy. So swapping out the heads, you got to grip the head however you want. I'm just going to pull it off there. But there's a couple of layers here, right? So you get that big old fur piece. Here's what the body would look like under that fur. But you got to add that fur on there, and then you got to add this because this will help fill in the gap. So then you got that, and then you have your ball pegs, so you can put the heads on there. The problem with that is it will take some time, and I did warm these up and whatnot, but if you could see these 2 peg holes, you could see the one in my left hand is a bigger hole, and the one here is a much smaller hole because it just needs to be worked on. Warm it up before you do it, and you got to work with it. It takes some time, and even then, it's still difficult. So it took me an extremely long time to be able to swap out the heads and do all of that. And it was a lot of work. And in that, you know, again, I kind of had like cut my, cut my finger a little bit. And this is the standard one. But like when putting it on there, because you have to grip it, it's really hard. And you got to like force it on there. It's difficult. And then like this shifts around, like gripping it naturally pushes this up. And that's not what you want to do. You want to somehow get it to hold down. And then you want to get this fur on there and everything like that. It's not an easy thing to do. Like, it's actually quite difficult, and I feel like it's more difficult than it really should be. That was the easiest I've ever put on a head, and I'm actually quite proud of myself right now, thinking, holy moly, that was fast. How did I do that? And the only reason why that was a little bit faster is because this head's been sitting on there for a few hours now, because I started this review and then I kind of went back to it. So that that peg hole was a little bit stretched out, so I was able to get it on much easier. So that's what happened there. But otherwise, you want to be careful with it. But he looks great. You get this dark gray color for the body, and then there's a little bit of like this light gray dry brushing throughout to really bring out the details of the skin tone and the fur in areas and stuff. So it's just really, really, really cool. Like the big old claws and like down on the feet, as you can see, are painted black, which is nice. And then on the hands, the fingers, you can see they're painted black there. So a lot of really good stuff going on in here. So very, very happy with that. Looking at the head sculpts, we get that cigarette looking one. Now the cigarette comes out very easily, so that's something that you just want to be mindful of. You want to be careful and that you don't lose it. Now on the Maestro Union werewolf figure, it was actually like colored like a cigar or a cigarette. It's just a gray color here. Not sure if there's a particular reason for that, but that's kind of what's going on. So just a heads up on that. But that head sculpt looks pretty good. I think I had the other one, but I think I dropped it somewhere, so I'll have to try and find that. But yeah, that's what we have going on with the Primal. Let's move on to the Deluxe. Okay, so here's the Night Hunter KILOWORG, and my apologies, folks. I think earlier in the video I may have said that this guy was in stock. He is actually sold out, so I don't know when he sold out. Last I had seen, he was in stock, which I think was a couple of days ago, so apologies. Unfortunately, Night Hunter KILOWORG is not available, not in stock, but the Primal KILOWORG is in stock, so you would be missing out on all these really cool accessories that the Night Hunter comes with. So he has the jacket there, which has the big cut open, you know, for his tail there, and then you could see it's just like all weathered down, like got some rips and tears and stuff in it. It's kind of dirty and messy and worn down and everything like that, which is cool. We get a couple of these bullet, you know, chains. I don't know exactly what they're called. Bullet chain, sure. I guess you have this one you could wrap around, and this one actually can peg in together to kind of fit, and then it's just kind of makes that loop there. You get this other one that, you know, pegs into the mini Gatling gun there, and the Gatling gun is really cool because, you know, you can see it articulates, which is pretty damn awesome, as you can see there, and it's got all kinds of weathering and paint apps and stuff on there. Just looks really, really good. So that is really cool there. And then you have this other one. So we get the 3 different ones. So that's like the thing with Fresh Monkey Fiction. It's like, you know, you get these 3 different ones. They could have easily just given you the same thing 3 different times, but no, these are different ones. This one does not come apart. This one comes apart, and then this one is made just for the Gatling gun there. So it's just kind of crazy there. You get this gauntlet blade piece there that just goes onto his arm quite easily there. So that is really nice. You get these grenades, large shot. I'm not sure what they are, but you have this belt, and you can actually fit all 4 in there. I just put the 3 in there so you guys could see it, and then here is that one there. There's some good paint apps on here too. You get red, gold, and they're actually like weathered, like with the dry brushing on there to kind of give it a dirty look. So that is really cool. Got that floating belt piece there, and then you got the camo pants on there, and then again the jacketed sleeves. So again, the difference here is you get these different parts, but you could swap this out. So you get this bottom piece here, so you could swap it out. You can actually just pull it apart at the waist. It's not the easiest thing to pull it apart at the waist. I had it on there, it made it look easy because I didn't push it down all the way. So you could swap it out, so then you would put this on there, and you're going to basically create the Primal KILOWORG. So it's not anything, you know, if you just want a standard werewolf, the Night Hunter one would have been perfect because you could build the KILOWORG there. So that's the difference in price. I think it's $20 or $30 more. That would have been kind of the difference difference there. So we're going to piece our Night Hunter back together so we can really take a full look at him. We'll swap out the jacket for the vest so you can see how that looks there. But again, they're essentially the same figure, just, you know, the Deluxe gets you more accessories. Okay, so let's go through this together in the video. I don't know how difficult these arms are going to be to pop out the shoulder. I feel like they're probably not going to be the easiest. Probably should heat up the figure. That might make it a little bit easier, but let's see. Well, I did that. I don't think that's ideal because you want to be able to pop it out at the shoulder. So that comes apart easily at least, but no, it's got to be at the shoulder. So I'm going to have to work on that a little bit, or maybe, you know, popping it out. That's the easiest. Oh, there we go. Look, I got that one off pretty easy. So we can get the coat off pretty easy, and then you could see the faux butterfly joint in there to kind of fill in the gap. This one has green, you know, to obviously to kind of match the jacket. So it does, you know, it looks like it's a full jacket on there. We do get the gray pieces to swap out in there. As you could see, so you can, you know, when you do the arms, you know, you could have it in there. I'm gonna have to see, can I pop this out? Let's see. Oh yeah, there we go. So we got it there. So there is our KILOWORG, our Night Hunter Deluxe there. Let's get these gray rings out. Let's fill those in. I don't think it matters which way you put them in, to be honest with you. Just kind of go, they just kind of rest in there. But what I want to do is I want to get this vest on, because that's the look that we're going to go for right now. So you got the vest, and then you got these bare arms that'll go in there. And this one says RB, so right back. Is that right? Right back. RB. Okay, so we can pop that arm in there. That's not the easiest to do. Let's see. Pop. That's okay. I'm probably gonna have to do that off camera, but that's how you're gonna do that. So let me work on that there. Okay, so I got the shoulders in there. It wasn't as hard as I kind of made it out to be, but those rings do have to go into those shoulders in a particular way. Now, to pop off the lower arm out of the upper bicep was actually quite easy to do. You just make sure to get a kind of a firm grip on there, and then you just kind of yank on it. Well, I guess the other one was a lot. Oh, yeah. See, you just kind of yank on it, and boom, you get it. And then you could just peg these onto those biceps, like so. Yeah. Well, I don't even know if I have it on there all the way. Yeah, so there we go. So then you can have the vested look as compared to the jacketed look. Let me port this one on there. Bam. So there we go. So that is actually really cool that you have, you know, all these display options and everything. So if you had multiple of the Night Hunter Deluxe KILOWORG, you could have looks with the vest. You could have looks with the jacket. You could have looks without it, or you could do the Primal and just have the standard Werewolf look too. Whoops. Timber. Okay, so let's go over the articulation. We're going to first do the Night Hunter KILOWORG, so you guys can see that there. The shoulder you can get to go straight on out like so. You get a full rotation in there. Of course, there's not really a butterfly in there, even though you have those rings. It doesn't really allow for anything. You got an upper bicep swivel in there. Single jointed elbow with the swivel at the elbow gives you that much bend there, so that is pretty good. Wrist swivel, and they do hinge. Standard horizontal hinge on all of the hands. The heads can do a swivel. You can kind of get some circular motion going on in there as well, but getting him to look up, he's basically straight out, and then you can get him to look down there. You have a diaphragm cut and a ball joint at the waist. The diaphragm cut doesn't really allow for a whole lot of movement. You can get some turn in there, but you're going to just kind of use everything at the ball joint there, and then coming forward, you can come forward that much there. But you know, when it comes to a werewolf figure, you know, just kind of how you pose him out, it'll kind of determine that. So that is good. He's just kind of standing straight up. You can't really go back in there. You get a swivel. A little bit of a swivel at that waist there. Legs go out that far apart. You can kick forward only a little far, not a whole lot, and the leg goes back a little bit as well. Forgot the tail is on a ball joint, so you can move the tail around, and then there's a couple of different segments to the tail, so you can kind of move it around a little bit, not a whole lot, but there is some movement on that tail going on there. Now, when it comes to wolf legs, I'm always confused at them. You have a knee, so you can bend at the knee super far, and then you have this other joint there, and I don't know exactly where or how it should bend, but you could bend there. And then you have the ankle, which has a hinge as well, with a good ankle pivot in there. So yeah, multiple spots. So a knee, ankle, wrist type thing, I guess it would be. So multiple points of articulation. Mine are a little bit loose because I, heated them up and everything, so probably should let it cool down. But that's the Night Hunter KILOWORG articulation. Take a look at the Primal one so we could really see, werewolf-wise, like, how well he can move. Here I put on that cigarette, head on there. And then you can see the big old fur and kind of how that, informs kind of the articulation at that point. But the head, you can still kind of move it around a little bit. You mostly just kind of get a little bit of a swivel in there. You can kind of move around. And then without a vest or anything, you can see at the diaphragm, you can get a little bit of turn in there. You can't really get a tilt on it by itself, but with the ball joint waist, you could tilt like to the left that much. You could tilt to the right that much there. And then with the wolf legs, standard wolf legs on there, you can go out that far apart. Kicking forward is, only so far, and then going back can go back actually quite a ways. As you can see there, there's not really any thigh swivel in there. You get a little bit of turn, as you can see there, not a huge amount. There's just turn at the knee, and then you could swivel around at the ankle, and then what would be a wrist, I guess, would be you have that there. So again, I'm not familiar with animal, anatomy and what each segment of the leg is, but you could see, all the different bending that you could do on these legs is actually pretty extensive there. Like if you want to do straight out, straight down, you could do that. And then you could articulate, all these different ways. So lots of good movement in there. Be careful of the fur because, again, those things will kind of poke you a little bit in there. So really good movement in there. My Primal one is a little bit more stiff. It doesn't feel as loose, so the Night Hunter one does feel a little bit more loose. But really good movement in there. Okay, so let's get in some size comparisons here. We have the Delta Red Urban Operations Trooper and Count Dracula there. Because like in Army, the werewolf up against, Dracula, it's his, mortal enemy there, right? According to Van Helsing lore that I'm familiar with. And then the Primal KILOWORG there, where I have his legs a little bit bent up more so compared to the Night Hunter there. But yeah, the KILOWORG, the Primal KILOWORG is awesome. Just standard werewolf, which is really cool. You get a lower price point if you don't need all those accessories and things like that. Plus, it's the one that's available at the moment. But I think he's actually really cool. So you can army build werewolves if that's something that you're looking to do. Okay, so that's the comparison between the two different KILOWORGs, the KILOWORG Night Hunter and the Primal KILOWORG here. So Deluxe release comes with all the different accessories. Again, the same exact wolf, same exact paint, same head, same hands, all of that. This just the Night Hunter Deluxe version has the guns, the bullets, and then the swappable pieces to give you the standard werewolf there. So the Primal KILOWORG is what is available in stock at Big Bad Toy Store right now. Unfortunately, the Night Hunter Deluxe is sold out. Right now, I don't know if they're going to get any more because I think it may have been a limited run, but there's plenty of the Primal KILOWORG available if that's something that you're looking to get there. So head over to Big Bad Toy Store to check out all the Operation Monster Force figures. Season 1 is available. I think some of them may have reverted back to a pre-orders. They may not be in stock at the moment. Make sure to get in your pre-orders for Season 2, Season 3. And then the toy shows later on this year. So Toylanta, Joe Fest, and Legions Con later this year. You can be able to get in for the Phantom Unit, Trooper. So to get your exclusive pre-order, and again, you have to attend those shows to be able to get that pre-order in. So basically, you would provide Big Bad Workshop with your phone number, so they can pull up your Big Bad Toy Store account, and then they'll get that pre-order in for you on the Phantom Core Command Unit. Now, if you know somebody going, you have a friend or somebody that's going, they can give them your email or phone number, and they can get in a pre-order for you there. So it's not like if you're not there physically, you can't get the pre-order in for it. It's just somebody there needs to be able to provide your account. If there's still additional quantities left after those 4 toy shows, then you'll be able to, then they'll have like the actual listing up on Big Bad Toy Store, so you can just put in a standard pre-order for it. So interesting concept in there. So convention exclusive, you got to go be there in person to the next toy show. So Toylanta, Joe Fest, and then Legion's Con towards the end of the year for the Phantom Core Command Unit. So, but here, the KILOWORG, you guys let me know down in the comments below, what do you guys think of the KILOWORG? Standard Primal KILOWORG, I actually like more than the Deluxe version. The Deluxe version's cool. I mean, you get the gun, you get the swappable parts. There's just a whole lot going on there. But just the standard werewolf look, to me, actually looks better than this Night Hunter. Now, obviously, it is a werewolf, so it is a person that then transforms into the wolf. So, you know, they would have clothing on there, so that does make sense. But I think just from a standard werewolf position, this thing is pretty damn awesome. But you guys give me your thoughts down in the comments below of what you think of them. Let me know if you got the Night Hunter Deluxe version, or if you missed out on the pre-orders and the in-stock orders of them, if you're going to go for the Primal one. I think it's a definite nice buy, so you'd probably be happy with it there. Good articulation, good amount of accessories, different hands, different heads, and things like that for the Primal one. And, you know, the legs feel a little bit better on him compared to the Night Hunter anyway. So you guys give me your thoughts down in the comments below. If you guys like this video, please do me a favor, hit that thumbs up button, subscribe if you haven't already done so, and as always, thank you for watching.